The next page, folio 7 verso, is a beautiful picture of the Virgin and Child. This is the oldest extant image of the Virgin Mary holding baby Jesus in a Western European manuscript. We have some earlier ones from, let's say, 5th, 6th, 7th centuries, maybe, in the Eastern Mediterranean, in Greek manuscripts, and so on. But here you have the earliest one in a Latin manuscript from Western Christianity. And just look at, again, the artwork and how all of this has been produced by our scribe/artist, perhaps several individuals working together. That folio faces 8R, which is the introduction to the Gospel of Matthew, the first of the Gospels. Now, this lettering is almost impossible to read. It really takes an effort to read this. If we read this, we can actually see, hopefully, maybe, at times I cannot see it at all, I must admit. But this is Nativitas, the birth of, that is written up here. And then do you see this? These are actually supposed to be 3 Greek letters. A chi, a rho, which looks like the English peep, except they've written a B, and the I, or the iota. And that stands for Christos, that's Christ. And I put it here for you in bold. That's actually Greek letters abbreviated. So that's the birth of Christ. And then it says Bethlehem. Let's look at it close up. I mean, here you see it, but very, very difficult to read. Somehow, this is what I have over here is what you're looking at over here. So difficult to read, in fact, that if you look at the page again, somebody has written out the Latin text with the one Greek abbreviation for Christ at the bottom of the page. A later reader, a later scribe, has just gone through and said, I can't read this font. I'm going to do this. And he scribbles it at the bottom, as you can see here. The birth of Christ in Bethlehem, just the first 4 words, and then the rest of what you saw there on that page, folio 8R. Although this is the introduction to Matthew, it's not the gospel yet. What we then have is what's called a brevis causae. We have a summary of all the contents of Matthew. And we have a biography, a short biography of Matthew a few pages later called the Argumentum. And this happens for all of the Gospels. Here's the end of Matthew and then the start of Mark. And you have the Argumentum to John and the beginning of the brevis causae of the Gospel of Luke. Yes, I realize there were a different order here. John is put before Luke, although in the manuscript itself, that's not the case. So you have all of this introductory material. Again, look at the artwork. Look at the way some of the letters, the head letters, are colored in. Sometimes the scribe is just having fun with these animals that you see here on the page as well. I don't think there's anything more to this than just simply artwork, fun, decoration, to enhance the visual aspect of reading the words on the page. Again, still introductory. We haven't gotten to Matthew chapter 1 yet. Another glossary of names, this time of proper nouns that appear in the Gospel of Luke. And again, to give you one example, the third item down here, you see Johanna, who appears in Luke chapter 8, and her name is correctly translated by St. Jerome as God is gracious. And that is exactly what the Hebrew Johanna means when you put it into Latin and then into English. Now, here is the Roman Empire. Not only do we not know exactly how Christianity leapfrogged over Britain, as I said earlier, and made its way to Ireland, indicated here on our map as an ancient name Hibernia, we also don't quite understand how Latin got there, because they didn't really have a Latin tradition, never having been part of the Roman Empire. It was a 100% Celtic tradition, including the Irish Celtic language. So somehow these people all got to know Latin through the introduction of Christianity. If this happened in other places, such as France, seen here as Gaul on the map, or elsewhere, then we would understand that they had been part of the Roman Empire, and then the Roman Empire became Christian. Ireland was outside of that, and yet you can see the spread of Christianity and the Latin language to that wonderful island in the northwest of Europe.